everyone, welcome back to new content of Cybrosys. In today's video, we are going to discuss about how to manage ship later in Odoo 17 POS. So Odoo provides two options to manage the shipment later. That is, when all products are ready, ship products as soon as available. So the first scenario is ship products as soon as available. Let's say we have just received an order from the customer for 50 quantity of aquatic block screen and we have only 25. So we can just deliver the item, that is the available quantity, to the customer as soon as it's possible. And this approach usually leads to the partial shipment of the item, which means this creates multiple packages of the delivery of the item for a single sale order. Ship later option in POS, you can just head into the configuration settings and we just need to enable the ship later option. So as you just drag down here, you can find a section called ship later and you can sell and deliver them later. So you can just use a particular warehouse. Here we will be using the warehouse as your company, and you can also set a specific route such as by route, or you can receive the product into your warehouse in one step, or you can just deliver the item in two steps, like picking the item from the warehouse and later on shipping them. And here you can see minimal routes over here. If you want to just create new routes, that is also possible. And currently we are just going to use the specific route as delivering the item in two steps. And here you can see that we can just ship the product in two methods, like shipping policy as soon as possible and when all products are ready. So here we will be going with the shipping policy as soon as possible. So once you have set all the features in the configuration settings, you can just close the area and let's move on to the dashboard in order to open the session. So here now we know we have just received the order for aquatic block screen with 50 quantity, but we have only 25 quantity in our stock. So as we just choose the ship later as soon as possible, we can schedule a date for shipping them, even if we don't have the exact quantity that is demanded by the customer. So if you want to set the opening balance over here, you can set that. So I'm going to set the opening cash as 100 and you can just open the session. Now we can just search for the product which is aquatic block screen, and here you can choose the product which is aquatic block screen, and you can see that the price of the product. Now we can just set the quantity, because here we know we have only 25 quantity in our stock. Now later on you can just log a customer and ensure that you have given the proper address of the customer. So if we haven't set the proper details of the customer, it won't be possible to deliver the item to the customer. And here you can now request for the payment from the customer by choosing a payment method, and you can just choose the ship later. And here we can just schedule a date for shipping this item to the customer. So I'm going to deliver this product on a particular date and I have just logged the date over here. Afterwards, you can just confirm that, and here you can see that on this date, the product will be delivered to the customer. And now we can just click on validate, and later on, we can just deliver the item to the customer. So in order to deliver the item to the customer, you can just go to the backend, and in the backend, you would be able to find a field or section called orders, where you can just consider the orders. And here you can see the order is generated from the shop with the reference number 2, and for the session POS reference 4 with the date, and everything will be shown over here. And you can see there are two picking. This is because we have just set the picking of the route as like delivering in two steps, like they pick the item from the warehouse, later on making the shipment to the customer. So here you can see the number of quantities, unit price, everything is shown over here, and you can just click on picking smart button and you can see that the product is currently ready to pick from the warehouse. So we can just validate this process. So as we just validate the process, here you can see that the source location is currently warehouse stock, and the destination location is warehouse output. Now as we just validate the process, the product has just moved to the warehouse output. Now we can just deliver the item to the customer. Now we can just again go to the transfers, and here you can see that currently the other transfer is ready and the source location is WH output, and we can just deliver the item to the customer by clicking on validate. So from this we can conclude that Even if we don't have the exact quantity that is demanded by the customer, and we are setting the shipping policy as soon as possible, we can just deliver the item to the customer what we have in our warehouse when all products are ready. In this case, we can only ship the item to the customer even we have the complete order or the stock available in the warehouse. So we can just say an example. We have received an order from the customer for 50 quantity of cabinet with door, where we have 30 quantity of cabinet with door in our warehouse. So in this case, we cannot just ship the item to the customer because we have just choose the option as ship products when all products are ready. So if we have the entire quantity available in our warehouse, then only we can just ship that item to the customer. So let's see how can we manage this in Odoo 17 POS. Manage with the allow ship later with the shipping policy when all products are ready. We have to set likewise, and here we will be using the warehouse that is your company. And we can also provide the specific route such as buy, or we can just receive the product in one step to our stock. So I'm using the specific route over here. It is not mandatory to set the route over. And if you want to not use any particular route, you can also just keep this field as empty. So here I'm not using any particular route and all. So let's save this changes in the configuration settings. Later on, we can just make the order for the product. So let's go to the product and let's find the product which is cabinet with door. So here we know we have just received an order from the customer for 50 quantity of cabinet with door, but we have only 30 quantity in our on hand. And let's see what happens when we just try to deliver the item by using allow ship later. So we can just go to the shop in order to just deliver the item to the customer. Here you can just use the cabinet with door, and here you can just set the quantity that is demanded by the customer. So the customer is Edison, and here you can just request for the payment from the customer side, where you can just choose the payment method and all. And later on you need to just choose the ship later, and here we can also set a date to deliver the item to the customer. Afterwards, you can just confirm the date and click on validate button so that we can just deliver the item to the customer on this date. Now let's move on to the backend. And in the backend, we can just move on to the orders. And in the orders, we can see the order that is created recently with all the details such as the cabinet with door, the quantity and all. And here we will be delivering the item to the customer using 2 transfers, like 2 shipments will be there. And you can see that as we don't have sufficient quantity in our stock, we cannot just deliver the item to the customer. So here you can see we only have 30 quantity in our stock and the demanded quantity is 50. So that we cannot deliver the item to the customer. So in order to deliver the item to the customer, first we have to make sufficient quantity of the item in our warehouse. Then only we can just deliver this item to the customer. So you can see as we don't have sufficient quantity of the item, the picking state will be in its waiting state. Now we can just enrich the quantity, or we can just replenish the quantity in order to deliver. So here we can just update the quantity into 50, and here you can see that we have currently updated the quantity. Now let's move on to the thing that we were dealing with, and we can just check the availability of the product. And here you can see that currently we have just updated the quantity. As we just updated the quantity, you can see the waiting state is now just moved to the ready state, and we can just validate with the process. And now we can also just deal with the other transfer, which means we can just deliver the item to the customer by clicking on validate button. So we have now done with our delivery. So this is how we manage with the ship later policies in Odoo 17 POS. So I hope this video clarifies how to manage ship later in Odoo 17 POS. So if you want Odoo customizations or Odoo tutorials, feel free to contact Cybrosys. As always, stay awesome and thank you for watching the video.